We'll call this meeting to order, the regular Township Board meeting of Wednesday, August 9th, 2017. Please stand for the allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Could we all stand for just a moment of silence while we ask God to guide our United States and all the world's nations to stand together and pray for the guidance that North Korea does not send off any more nuclear warheads on their missiles and destroy any part of the world during one of his juvenile temper tantrums. We ask through Christ our Lord, amen. Amen. God bless America and Cottrellville Township. All right, our first thing on the agenda is roll call. Please, Sherry.
Kathy?
Here.
Sue?
Here.
Mary Agnes?
Here.
Sherry? Here.
Tom? Missing.
Missing.
MIA. Okay, we have the agenda approval in front of you. We also have a couple things we have to add. We have to delete the consent agenda correspondence number 4B for Ira Township's fire runs for July. We did not get them. We also have an addition under consent agenda approval of accounts payables by the clerk. She gave us an existing agenda number of $184,695.96. She added a couple more checks, so it now reads check number 19,297 through 19,342. 343 is Mterra, $11,915.88. That's for the garbage, the freight, picking up our trash. And the Voice newspaper, there was a advertisement put in for $279.38. So we have now another total of $12,195.26. So the adjusted paid total now is $196,891.22. Under new business, I'd like to add another resolution, approval for local roads funding assistance program for $10,000 for some ditching. I'll explain that to you when we get to it. Item number 7 under new business, approval of requesting a new ordinance to be worked on by the Planning Commission for rental housing inspection ordinance to inspect rentals prior to being rented so that they're clean and safe, electrical, plumbing, and heating are in good working order, and that appliances such as refrigerators and stoves are in good working order prior to being let. And the water bills are paid. That's something we have to discuss a little further too. So with that in mind, if we can approve the agenda with the suggestions, unless you have some other things you want to add. Anyone else?
I just want to let the board know on C2A on the investment report, under Water District 2 savings, the last one, shouldn't be 95%, it should be 0.20%. It was a error.
Saw that, yeah.
So it didn't affect the figures when it was typed
Just a
out.
typing? Okay.
And I changed the one out in the hallway, so
Okay,
that
great.
one was already done.
I figured that must be a mistake.
Yeah, otherwise we'd all be investing there.
Yes.
95%.
Because there was only $8.
All right. We have a motion to approve the agenda with the added deletions and additions.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda with the added additions and deletions.
And I need a second.
I'll second.
We have a motion to approve and second the agenda as presented, plus the additions and deletions. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. All right, now we'll go to the Township Board meeting minutes on July 12th. We have special meeting workshop minutes regarding the admin fee and the Marine City Area Fire Authority. That was on Wednesday, the 19th of July. There was also a public hearing on a new sewer ordinance and resolution to raise base fees and usage fees. Is there any question in any of that? Approval of the treasurer's reports, the township investment report for July. She just made that correction, so we know that's correct. Approval of the clerk's reports, the revenue and expenditure report for July 31st, 2017. Also the approval of paychecks with a combined total of $16,371.28. The approval accounts payables, we just went through that. The grand total now is not 184,695, but it is $196,891.22. Copy of the Fifth Third corporate account, credit card is 0. And we only have the Marine City Fire Authority runs for July. So we need a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
And I need a second to that, please.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda as presented. All in favor signify by saying aye. On a roll call vote, please.
Kathy,
Aye.
Sue,
Yes.
Mary Agnes,
Yes?
Sherry, yes.
Tom absent. Motion carried. Okay. Anyone in the audience want to address the board on anything on the agenda? Yes, sir. Or ma'am.
I just wanted to talk about the sewer increases that you're proposing.
Uh-huh.
And I think the fee, $50 per quarter is pretty excessive. If it was $50 annually, that would be one thing, but that's $200 a year. And our water rates are pretty high already, I think.
Well, they're gonna get higher, so. We can only do one step at a time, and right now, we're working with the state because they're asking us to fix the problems that we have with our sewer system. It's about 40 years old, and there's not been any major repairs to the thing since its inception, and its longevity was only supposed to be 20 years. So you gotta kind of look at it as you've been on a holiday for 20 years. But now we gotta fix it, because they're gonna either come in and fix it for us, and they're just gonna send you a bill for what has to be done, or we do it on our own and try and keep the peace in the neighborhood.
Well, I just want to make the point that people's incomes are not increasing
Right.
significantly. So that's a real burden for
I know it is.
many households, particularly that kind of jump. That's a better than 50% increase
Mm-hmm.
in just the fee. That's not even including the sewer increase that you're proposing too. So I wanted to register my complaint that this is not a high-income area, this township. And I would think it would be really great if it was a little more sharpening pencils or more grant writing or anything, rather than constantly asking your residents to reach into their moth-eaten pockets.
Well, the problem is, we don't really have a choice. There's been no increases since, I think 2010 was the last time.
Well, you're already losing population, so
Well, we either want sewers or we don't.
Do we have to wait till she gets finished, or? we
Yes, sir.
no,
You
I'm
have to
done.
wait.
That's it. I think
We let her do her spiel.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Dominic Berlowski, and I've lived here in this township for 37 years. And I too think that's an excessive amount of money. What has, or if any, do you know, has the money been approved through the township since 2010, or 2010, that money for the sewers? Where has that money been going?
Well, we haven't had enough to pay the bills. It's been going in the hole about 60 grand a year.
Well, we haven't had any new sewers put in Cottrellville Township in how many years?
Probably
About
20.
60 years?
Oh, no.
20, when the one you did down along the river?
When they did along the river
Okay,
was
20
about
years.
20 years ago. A little better than 20 years ago.
And was that not put in our budget? Wasn't there a
Well, the
budget for
state
sewers?
did that.
Pardon?
The state did that.
I know, but we have a budget here in the township for sewer maintenance, right?
That's what the base fees are supposed to be, yes, but they're not enough to cover the expenses.
Well, I never have seen a report stating what our expenses are for the sewer department that would cause us to have to raise our rates to this exorbitant amount of money in
Well-
such a short period of time. And since, I know that you've only been in office for a little while, but our other townships that we have had, and I see nobody raised any concern about it when Tom Raymond was here. And in fact, I don't ever remember him ever bringing it up, that we were falling behind on our sewer debt. And me for one, and I have to apologize because I have not paid attention to what was going on in my own township. I just retired and I will be doing that. And so forgive me if I feel blunt
That's all right.
of talking what's going on and falling behind. And I know that there are a lot of people the same as me in the township that are not aware of where all our money and where it's going. And so for that same reason, I think that before calling for an audit, that we know where has all our money been going for the last 10 years,
Okay, well, just,
15 years in the sewer line. And you said it's all been paid and it's all been falling in the hole.
Well,
But
just-
nobody, I don't think Mary Agnes, anybody has ever told us that it was going in the hole, or that we needed a new pumping station, or that we needed a new lines put in. I do not know of,
Okay,
because it's a 20-year-old line, that doesn't necessarily mean that the line has to be replaced,
no, it's a 40-year-old line.
or a 40-year-old
All
line.
those pump stations, there's 5 of them, are all 40 years old. They're supposed to last 20. So we've been limping along for 20 years. You gotta kinda look at it that way.
Well,
The problem is, we went and got a grant. We got some money to have them check it, because we were getting so much infiltration going into the system. We were sending more sewage to the city of Marine City than we were receiving in water. So we know that there's infiltration, so we had to start there to try and find this out. So we checked with the state, they had a grant, we had a percentage. You helped me with what
Is
was
that
the
the
match money?
$30,000 that you're talking about?
No, it
That
was
was our
it was
portion?
300,000.
That was for the whole,
That was to look at the whole system, because we have to report to the state. They're asking us to, new regulations are telling us that we have to do certain things by January 1st. We have to have them, they have to have some kind of a plan as to how we're gonna maintain this system from now on. You just can't put stuff in and then not worry about it for 20 years and then say, oh my goodness, now we don't have no money and we're out of money and our stuff is all broke again.
and that's
So
what I'm
that's what
saying.
we're
I
trying
mean,
to do.
As a township supervisor, that would be part of our big plan. To
Right.
make sure that we maintain the sewer.
That's exactly
and the
what we
water
did.
and everything. But it doesn't seem like for the last, since 2010, anybody has ever said anything about the sewage being so bad. And now here you're hitting these people with $20, $80 every quarter and a year rate, and then you're talking about raising the sewer rates, plus right behind that, you're telling them you're gonna have to raise the water rates again.
We have to, yes.
Why?
Because there isn't enough money to support itself. That's an enterprise fund. Each of those departments have to stand on their own 2 feet.
Right, but I mean, what happened to the money previously that was put in place to take care of that?
There wasn't any money except what was in the funding as far as the base fees. They weren't high enough. If you check with everybody around here, New Baltimore, I think that their base fee for sewer is $75 a quarter.
But their water rates is only $11.95 a 1,000 gallons.
Well, they have their own plant. We don't have a plant. We have to buy our stuff through other people, and they make a little on it, and then they send it to us, and we have to put a little bit in it so that we also can maintain it. Maintain the stuff in the ground.
Well, I'm not gonna argue with that, because I know that rates right now, everything we got is going up. But it seems to me that there's been some negligence on our part of the township, and not necessarily pointing fingers at you people. I'm just saying that our township as a whole has not done their job,
Well, I agree with you.
okay?
I agree with that, yes.
And now we gotta have to live with this.
Yep.
And what we gotta do is come up with a solution for that, because like the lady said, this is not a very wealthy township.
No, it is not.
Where people can pay that kind of money. And then we're talking about raising property taxes again too.
But everybody's,
You know?
everybody that sits in this chair has kind of kicked the can down the road, and that's why we're in the mess we are. Because we have to catch up with what's going on. We have certain things that have to be met by the state, and we don't have a choice on that. And who's gonna pay for that? There isn't enough money in there to do that. When Eric talked, he's our civil, or our engineer for the Huron Consultants, and his company put this grant together to get us the money for the initial checking of all the sewers, all the manholes,
And when was that?
that's been over the last 3 years.
And 3 years ago, nothing was ever said about raising the rates back there, maybe 1%, 2%, so that we don't have such a great big blow now?
Well, if
Or
you,
any of that stuff, you
you
know?
must have forgot about all the activity that was going on in
Oh,
this
no, I
township
haven't
board
forgot
when
all
that
the
was
crap
going.
that's been going on.
They were so busy doing
I didn't
things
want to
that,
bring up any of that
I know.
baggage, you know, that went on in the township.
exactly right.
I'm hoping that we don't ever have to go through that again.
I agree with you, I hope too, but they were busy doing things that
They shouldn't
they
have.
shouldn't have been doing, so.
Right, exactly.
And when you're busy doing that and not the work that's at hand, that's what happens, you fall
Yeah, I
behind.
had a lot of meetings with Tom Raymond and about things, and I have 10 properties that I have to worry about the
I
people
know.
that are living in my properties that are going to be hit with these water bills and these sewer rates. Some of these are on social services, some of them aren't, some of them are just barely making it by to pay the water bills of $300 a month. You know, back when 30 years ago, 20 years ago, water bills were only $125, $75 a month. Now you jump to $300 a month for a family of four. A family of four.
Yeah, but things change. I mean, what did you pay for a car 30 years ago too, Dominic?
Well,
You could get a car for under $5,000 and it would
a
be a
lot less
Cadillac.
than what I paid for the house today, that's for
That's
sure.
exactly right. That's
But
exactly right.
I'm not disputing that at all. All I'm saying
No, I
is
know you're not.
that we, the township, and I know that you stepped into a hornet's nest, someplace, there's gotta be some other way of doing this other than taxing, and that's the easiest step for everybody. Oh, let's just tax everybody. Oh, let's just give them the $25 increase. Who the hell, we don't care. You know, what are they gonna do if they don't pay it, if they can't pay it?
Live without water.
Well, there's
You know.
assistance you can get, that's the problem.
You see?
No, you can't.
You know, the township is.
Well, some of yous are proud, I know that. But there's places that you can get assistance if you need it, but we need to.
It's not all that easy where you say that, you can just go get assistance, they don't work that way.
No.
Yeah, well, I've helped quite a few when I sit in that office in there, so,
Well, I've got 4 or 5 people that would argue with you over that, going down and asking for help to pay for their $300 water bill when they got 5 kids. And their water bill is really less than what they should be doing. And they don't water the grass, they don't wash the car.
No.
They only wash once a week, you know, and I can't remember the last time anybody said, hey, go out there and fill up your swimming pool and just enjoy all that water. We don't, you know, we'll give it to you free.
no, I know. Did you want to say something, Eric?
Without the discussion, or I can say it.
No, go right ahead, go right ahead. If you can help these
Improvements,
people.
The first and foremost improvements, of course.
Why don't you go up there to the microphone so that you can hear, everybody at home can hear you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Is this on?
Yes, sir?
Yes.
You're on.
Yeah,
I can't hear myself, let alone anybody else.
that's all
I
right.
do apologize for being deaf. Eric Osling with Huron Consultants. The best case scenario are for these raises in the base fee for debt service repayment to slip line thousands miles of clay tile sanitary sewer, substandard.
Explain what slip line is, because these are people that don't deal in sewer and water.
If you've ever seen PVC, it comes in 20-foot sticks. Clay tile comes in 4 and 5 foot lengths, which means there's 4 or 5 joints of clay tile for every joint of plastic tile. So you have miles of clay tile that is now falling apart. Slip lining, they go in and they clean all the roots, obstructions, calcification from the joints, everything like that, and they pull a sheath through, and then they steam it, they inflate it and steam it and cure it in place, and you then have a plastic-lined pipe, which, if you go by the calculations we have, they're not substantiated, but this is all by metering. 58 million gallons of sewage was paid to Marine City, whereas only 39 million gallons of water were bought. Of that 39 million gallons, there are many people who do not have a sewer hookup. So you've sold 39 million gallons of water, and you've had to pay for 58 million gallons of sewage. That's 170%. We've tried to get the actual true number for sewage that was used, and it's just done by a ratio of sewer users versus, you know, a portion of the water users are sewer users versus those that are not. So roughly 50% of the 39,000 million gallons of water that were bought were supposed to go down the sewer. So now you're talking 19 million gallons versus 58 million gallons I don't remember the number off the top of my head, I believe it's 3.4 times the amount of water you bought. Once you slip line these miles of sewers, and it'll take 10 years unless you want to do one big loan, then you can repay that debt and those rates can go back down. Also, usage will go down. So people would not, be subject to as high of a fee. So it is a planned temporary raise in usage and base fees is the best way to explain it.
Go ahead, sir.
Sir?
There seems to be a lot of infiltration, because
Yes.
we're sending more sewage than we're buying water.
Yes.
Has your company determined a location for the infiltration? Are there specific areas
Yes.
where that is? And are those the areas you're going to probably repair first?
Absolutely. When we get to that portion, towards the end, if everyone's going to stick around, we can go over that.
Okay, 'cause if the infiltration is occurring only in a few places, why not spend the money just to repair those places?
I prepared that.
Okay, which might reduce the total cost for us in the near term, not long term, near term.
We're almost in the 11th hour of the grant itself. The asset management plan that we're diligently working on and back and forth communication right now, we are trying to establish the costs. We're planning for that. Asset management plan lays out their entire sewer system, the condition of that, the criticality of improvements such as the pump stations, slip lining of the sewer to prevent inflow and infiltration. And, we've got a few trains of thought. Very minimal, median, and the most expensive Cadillac option. So that's where we're at this point. Within the next month, I'm sure this board will make their final determination on how to move forward.
Ma'am, did you have a question? I don't know your name.
I'm Debbie.
Debbie?
My question was, is it slip lining and, that's just the main trunks of the line?
Yes.
Okay, so it's not like any person that doesn't have anything to do with them, it's just the main trunks? where
It's the main, but then I'm not so sure what the laterals were made of, probably tile. So everybody's laterals that go from the main to the houses may also be infiltrating. That's not part of this grant. We don't know how bad they are.
Well, it's not part of the water department's maintenance, as far as I understand.
No, that would be, that's you as a homeowner.
Right.
But when was the last law that they passed in St. Clair County? That they no longer could use clay tile, which was back in the 70s. So you're looking at 30 years that they replaced all them tiles already.
40 years.
40 years since they put back, have used.
Unfortunately,
PVC
they
lines.
are still using clay tile
Of
in
course.
St. Clair County
Sure they are,
for sanitary
but
sewer.
not legally.
Yes, currently.
It depends on the soil, Dominic. If you've got a real sandy soil, or if you've got a real clay soil, sometimes we had problems when we put the water in on Beathway Road in Ira Township. It was full of pinholes. And it was just that Consumers Power Plant right there that was supposedly causing them all that grief. They ended up putting that all in brand new, and we used ductile iron. Yes.
When you recoat these lines, how long do they last?
The materials itself have a half-life of 10,000 years
But
if you
once they're
don't break them.
recoated, then we're like, we don't have to worry about these lines for 10,000 years, is what you're telling me.
If they're not broken, you can find examples where slip lining does not work.
Well, you would know that they're not broken, you put cameras through all these lines that you're
Yes.
proposing to Mary Agnes to pay you for.
And that's why this is 1/6 of the total bill. These are the priority lines. There's a list 6 times as long at a total cost of $1 million. This is only $150,000. Rough cost estimates, in the next month, we are going to refine all these figures, but $150,000 of the total $1 million that we're suspecting the lines need to be replaced.
And then that's a permanent fix.
Yes.
No, wait a minute, he just said they have to be not fixed, they have to be replaced. Now, there's a difference between fixing and
Pumps
replacing.
need to be replaced.
No, the pump, I'm not talking about the pumps, you said lines.
Yeah.
No, you're
Sewer
saying
lines
out
are
of
to
the
be slip
$1 million, $156,000 as it stands right now is the total amount of money that the lines have to be replaced?
No.
That's the
That's
portion
the portion
of the
that's
total
most important
system
right now.
that are a priority.
Yeah.
150,000. But those 40-year-old lines, they're all leaking. These are just the priorities. Breaks, cracks, infiltration that was seen in dry weather condition. If we were to send the same camera down the pipe in a rainstorm, everything would have infiltration. As I said, we're suspecting 3.4 times the amount of water coming down your lines than you've bought, that you are paying Marine City to take. So
How
the
much
ordinance
is-
has been rewritten.
How
I'm
much
sorry,
is-
I do want to talk about the ordinance and, what was the other, the resolution
Resolution
for
for-
sewer rates and whatnot.
Yeah.
We've put more teeth into the ordinance to find those people with illicit connections, those people who may tap the line in order to drain their lot, those types of things. That's called inflow. That's surface waters that goes directly into something. So if people are doing that, they're costing you all this money. Anybody who has a sump line connected, their downspouts connected, if they open up their sanitary sewer clean out to drain their lot, you're all paying for that. That's not fair. What's fair is everybody pays their own way, and what's important is you fix the problem now so the future generations aren't yelling at a future board.
In your study, have you some estimate of, I'll call them illegal hookups, where people are hooked up to water and sewer, but do not have meters?
Right?
Okay, do you have some estimate of that?
I don't believe so.
Okay, in your research, okay, that was not a research item then?
No,
Okay, that's fine, just.
no.
Why,
That
do you
was-
suspect that someone's hooked up to our city water system?
I live in Cherry Beach, and I'm sorry, it's, one of my neighbors in the association said, and it's hearsay, so I don't know, that's the reason I asked the question, if you've done any research along those lines.
Well, nothing on water yet. We're still working on sewer.
Okay, and that might be, the question might have been regarding water, and if you haven't done any research on water, because it was raised to me, because I mentioned I was coming to the meeting, that there are some people that have hookups that have no meters, so they're essentially using our water for free, so.
Well, you have to check and see whether that your association where you have possibly, I'm not know, because the trailer parks do the same way. They go through a master meter, and then from there they go separating out, and then each unit has a
Yeah.
meter to
No,
show
those are
what they
individual
have.
homes in that.
But you have, they
No,
don't
those are
have
individual homes
no
there.
master meter?
There is no master.
I see.
We all-
It was discussed at the public hearing 2 weeks ago that nobody wants to be the bad neighbor, but this township will rely on anybody with information of anybody who is illegally taking water or contributing to the sewer system. As a citizen, I would say that it's your duty to offline anonymously report anybody who you suspect.
I have no proof, this is hearsay, that's the reason I asked you, if in
Well,
your
an
research.
anonymous
you would have
tip.
run across it.
No,
And
that's
since
not
you've
part, that's
done-
not part of our,
No, that was not part of it, well, thank you.
we-
I'm gonna pay you a visit, because I wanna know where this guy lives. Ma'am, did you have something more to
I
say?
just wanted to say that there's no question that nobody wants Cottrellville to turn into the next Flint.
No.
So everybody is going to be concerned about the water sewer lines. So the question would be, is there a way to avoid such a huge, such a large increase? And what other options are there?
Well, another one of our problems with the SAW grant was that we have to immediately get enough money in the first year in order to pay what we've been short for the last few years.
How much
So,
is that?
Is it
It
40,000?
was 40,000 in the last fiscal year.
That's not a lot of money, $40,000.
Well, it's been 60 the 2 years before that, or 3 years before that, that we were going. Go ahead,
I
sir.
have a question, but how about selling that deadbeat property you got there in Roberts Landing that nobody can use now that everybody voted on?
Well, we can't sell it because we'd have to pay back the state of Michigan. That was a gift. It wouldn't be money we could keep. I can sell it tomorrow if you want,
It was,
but
it was a really bad gift. I mean, you told us we were gonna have access to the
Well, we
river
tried,
and everything else. Okay, I wanna go back. Is there any cheaper way to, do the inside of these pipes? I see like, the gas companies and stuff, they install a solid pipe inside the piping that they already have. You say you're gonna have to go in there and clean it out, cracks and everything else. Is there anything cheaper, like a tube like that, where you could just go in there and like root it and then just install another pipe that would last like?
That is what slip lining is. I
That's what
believe
slip lining is.
this is
I
the
was-
most
I understood you
effective.
saying that you had to mixture it and pour it on the.
No, it's just a sleeve that goes in, then they plug both ends and they inject, they blow it up like a balloon through the whole thing, and then
Okay,
it steam
I
cures,
misunderstood.
becomes a solid plastic pipe. So every infiltrating joint is now sealed.
I misunderstood you, I thought that you were
Well,
coating the
a much
inside.
much more expensive option is pipe bursting, where they actually send a screw through, burst the pipe and pull the pipe behind it. That is cost
How much a
prohibitive.
foot is that,
expensive.
did you say?
Sorry?
How much a foot is that costing?
It's variable. This is a total of 6,500 feet identified as priority.
Okay,
And it's a sliding scale, and we're getting numbers from, I'd like to get numbers from 3 contractors before we're all inside
So
of
that
that.
6,500 feet is about 150,000 roughly, is that what you're
Yes.
saying? Okay.
Okay, anybody else?
I do hope that answers everybody's question.
Mr. Barnes?
Yes, I'd just like to ask one question. I don't have the problems that you have. But when I used to, a long time ago when I lived in the city, we paid for like even the rainwater, you know, is into the,
wastewater, we used to
Yeah,
do that.
But what about the people like myself, that just have water? Is the people that have the sewer the only ones that are paying for this increase?
That's right. Your departments are 2 different ones, sewer and water. Yeah, and they both have to be independently standing on their own 2 feet,
Okay.
okay?
And that's the example. You have a water customer who's not a sewer customer.
Right. Yeah, this is just gonna affect the people that are along the river, and Bruce, Elizabeth,
Yeah, how many
Brown.
people do we have
On these lines.
on those lines?
How many sewer customers have we got?
461.
461.
So $168,000 divided by 400 and what?
61.
61, gonna give you some deal what they would have to pay. But the water is directly related to the sewer. So everybody, if you increase the water, you're going to increase the sewer. So where, are we building a fund, or are we just trying to bail ourselves out of a hole that was created years ago?
We have to do both. We can't continue going the way we are, because when we have fails, what are we gonna do?
I understand that, but in the long run, or say in the short run, we're trying to get a few people to pay for everything that's going to take place 10 years down the line.
Well, no, it's a gradual increase. It's gonna continue, because we have to stay with all the other areas, plus we have to take care of our own. We have to be able to, we can't stick.
Well, I don't know, I don't have my paper with me, because I did it down with a calculator and sat it down, and the 461 people, I didn't have a reason. But if you take the $30 that you're increasing the basic rate, that's $80. What did we figure that out?
It's going up $20.
It's gonna be 36,000 more that they're gonna collect from that $20.
Right,
The 461 times 80 would be $36,000.
and that's just for the rest of this, for the year of 2017. You're gonna come up with $36,000, extra dollars.
Well, there's nothing extra, because we're already in the hole to begin with.
Well,
Yes?
is this amount that you got down here right now, these numbers, is this just appeasing what we need to pay off the government or the?
Well, it's just,
Or is it above that?
no, we haven't, all of that stuff that we got from the state was free money. We had a match, and we had to pay a portion of it. But all that work that was done by his company, and all the actual cammering and checking all the lines, that was all paid for this, by this grant. We'd have had to pay that out of pocket, and that would have been another increase. But that was taken care of. So now we gotta go from here. We've gotta fix what they've told us has got to be repaired. The state isn't gonna just give you that money and say, oh, well, we don't have the money, we're not gonna do it. We have to borrow. We've got money that we can borrow at 2.5%, I think you said. That's better than a bank.
So you're just reaching into our pockets, and you're not reaching into our socks right now, as far as this money that you have.
Can I ask you something, Eric?
Yes,
The increases that you proposed through the SAW grant, the sewer and water grant, is the goal to get us where we're self-maintaining? So
Yes.
the first increase, then the next increase is based on what we collected for the first year. It's gradually increasing to where we get to, the goal is to get to that place where we're supporting each sewer fund and each water fund.
yes.
Okay, so that's the goal. The increase isn't going to bring us magically up to where we're maintaining. It's gonna take a few years.
It's gonna take
of
some time.
gradual
The initial
and
increase
that-
is to balance the
Right.
budget.
And that's what we had the SAW grant for, was to help us determine what increases we had to come up with.
See where the
to do that,
shortfalls were.
Based on what we haven't been increasing over the last 10 years. Every time we didn't do an increase, we weren't matching the increases that we were getting. So the increases from the other communities have been going up, and we haven't been doing anything in our community.
But when you're talking about these increases every year, you're not talking about the flat rate, this flat rate.
No, I'm
Flat
talking,
rate,
well,
is this gonna be it for a while?
I hope it'll be it for a while, yes.
All right, so when you're talking about actually increasing.
Percentages.
The percentage for every
Right.
1,000 gallons. And you're saying that once these joints are fixed, and are you just fixing the joints, or are you fixing the entire clay pipe that's being coated with plastic?
It's the entire length.
Well, the entire length gets done. So he's
Yes.
also telling us that when he's done, that for 10,000 years, we're not gonna have to worry about this. And you're saying that we're going to continue on until all the pipes are done.
Well, eventually, it's over a 10-year plan, isn't that what
That's
we,
what our goal is to
Over 10
recall
years.
our pipes. So that, so then at the end of this 2-year or 3-year project.
no, it's 10 years,
Okay,
Glenn.
let's say at the end of the 10-year project or the 20-year project, I plan on living a little bit longer than that. All right? What happens at the end of that? Do we continue to, because I think I overheard somebody say that these are temporary increases? I've never
Well,
seen it.
the loan is
I've never
gonna be
given an
temporary.
increase that was brought back down.
It's
Well,
going
the
to be a
money-
20-year loan.
The money for the sewer fund stays in the sewer fund. It doesn't go to
Anything
anything
else.
else. It is just for your sewers. So if we get too much money in the bank for your sewers, they're gonna lower the rates back down and just maintain the fund.
Okay.
It's not like we're gonna go out and build a road with it. It's just strictly
Well,
for your
that's what I was
sewers.
wondering is that, are we borrowing from Paul to pay Peter?
No,
Peter
no.
to pay Paul?
That's what we've been doing.
we can't.
That's what
we
the
can't-
problem was, that we weren't meeting our expectations as far as our income, and as near as we can figure, they were taking it out of the general fund.
See, that all goes back to my original statement, that the township has not done their due diligence.
Right.
They have-
But
they
we
have
can't go
allowed-
back,
they
Dominic.
have allowed us people to fall into such a debt that we got our backs up against the wall, and now we're gonna have to really pay for that situation.
Exactly.
And, you know, I hate to say it, with all the troubles that we had in the last 4 or 5 years, didn't help us any.
It sure didn't.
And here we are, now trying to figure out, and we have a lot of retirees in our township.
Yes, we
that,
do.
you know, if this is gonna hit them really hard, and like I said, the water bills, and you're talking, and we're gonna raise them $1, and then next year, you're gonna, $1.25, and next year, we're gonna raise them another $1. That's $2.25 per 1,000 gallons per quarter. That's a lot of money.
It is.
And then the 3rd-year raise.
There's gotta be someplace and somewhere along the line, somebody's gonna have to stand up and say, hey, look, we're in a township where we don't have that kind of money. And I said this before to Tom Raymond before, when they were talking about raising the taxes in our township. I said, you people stand up here and you say, yeah. The state tells you, oh, you gotta have this amount of money. Well, who went back and told the state, we can't afford that kind of money?
Well, they get an audit every year, and that's
I know.
how we get, that's how they tell us what we're doing wrong.
Well,
The state it writes to us, I mean, it's on online if you wanna check
well,
and
the
see
state
all the
tells you
notes.
that you owe more money than what we got. They're never gonna say, oh, gee, you got $50 million
No, they
too
look
much
at,
over here.
they look and see where our shortcomings are. That's why we have an audit every year. Every year that auditor sends that to the state of Michigan, it'll be there by September 30th, and then anyone in the township can look it up. But all your notes, all your field notes at the back of a financial statement, I don't know if you've ever seen one.
No.
It gives you all the, come into the office, I'll show you the last 2 or 3 years. It'll tell you where we're losing ground and what they want us to do. And
Okay.
one of the things that had to be done was the sewer system. I mean, we're having
I know
problems
a couple
with,
years ago in the township, they went through and told us that we were gonna get fined, I don't know, $750,000 if we didn't separate the sewer lines from the gutters. And everybody had to go
That's
through
right.
and change all the gutters and, take them water out of their, you know, so that we didn't have to pay. Can you imagine how much water we were paying to Marine City for that storm sewers that were going into our sewage water? If you're talking about now, we're paying for only 30%, and 80% of that was going from water coming off of your roof or from your driveway, going to the town, to the city.
into the sewer
And,
system,
yeah,
not
and
into the
we're
water
paying-
system.
In the sewer system.
Right.
And we're paying all of that.
Well, that's why we had to do something. This
Yeah,
has
but
all
okay,
been wrong.
you know,
Yes, sir.
I understand that we basically hit that brick wall.
Yes, we
Gotta do
have.
something, okay. But can the township help the retirees, the set income people, the poorer people in this town? You just told this lady right here, oh, there are places out there to go. Well, what if we don't know where to go? I mean, can the township help us?
Yep, I'll help, I'll direct you where you can try and get some help.
You know?
There's
How
low-income
much
loans and
direct-
things, and
Not direct, but work with people like, that we need, and say, okay, wherever you wanna find, bring them in and talk to us, and try to figure out something to
How
do.
much money do we have that the township have to pay to cover the state bill right now?
it's 40,000 that we were short last, it was 60 the year before, 60 before that, and 60 before that. So that was the last 4 years.
$220,000 in the last.
That's
4
not
years,
anything
but-
about owing the state anything, that's balancing your own budget.
Right.
No, that
So
was
you're talking $240,000?
just to balance it so that we
To
are,
balance it
so that
$250,000?
we had enough to pay what we had bought, what we paid for.
Right, I'm saying, yeah, I understand that.
Yeah.
So right now, we're $250,000 in the hole.
That's the per year what the auditors said we were short.
Short, each year,
Each year. So now we're waiting for the audit.
for
We
this
don't have the
current year.
final audit.
Not yet, yeah,
Not
we'll
yet.
have that in
Say
September.
whatever, the 260 or 475 or something.
No, it's just gonna give us for that 12-month period.
Right.
What we were telling you,
Yeah, $40,000, you
yeah,
said here.
well, it was 40 last year, I don't know what it is this year yet.
You're not really in debt, that $40,000 was covered by the general fund, which is a no-no.
You can't do
You don't
that.
want to be doing that. You want the sewer fund to stand on its own 2 feet. As part of the asset management plan, the state is prescribing that you work towards a 50% surplus for your expected improvements. We're not even going to get anywhere close to that.
No.
First thing we're going to do is we're
Right,
going
I
to
mean,
close your budget
it just goes
deficit.
back to-
Second thing we're going to do is pay for improvements. It's going to be a long time before you see
Yeah,
the black.
Well, we're looking at more increases down the road, though.
but like Mr. Barnes and Bev, they only have city water. And when they took money out of the general fund that they paid into to pay for sewer for the people along the river, how upset do you think that makes them? I mean, we're down to, when I came in, there was $240,000 in the fund balance for the township. That's money that's supposed to be your difference between what comes in and what you actually spend, and the rest of it's supposed to go into like a savings account. Well, I think it was used like a revolving charge because they paid everything out of that. Anything they were short, they were doing. That's why they didn't know what they were doing. Now we got 2 competent people in here that are good at what they're doing. I mean, I'm very pleased with these girls. They do anything I ask them to do. They check stuff for me. We talk, we have meetings. It's amazing how much the 3 of us can get done now and report back to the trustees. So, and anybody that comes in here gets an answer. They may not get it that day, but they're gonna get an answer.
I know you very well at that, and you're doing a good job. Don't think that I'm criticizing you.
Oh, I'm
for
not
what
taking
you
it
do.
that way,
But I
Dominic.
go back to my old saying is that the last township people that we had running our township just,
I know, but there's nothing we can do about that. It's water over the dam, and we've gotta go from here. Debbie, can I get your,
So the state mandates a lot of stuff that they're not gonna pay for to everybody. all the
yes,
time.
right now, what's that all asset management plan has got to be begun by January 1st of 2018. We're gonna have it done because we're doing it right now.
So my point is, initially and still, that whether you're retirees or poor people or just regular everyday people, their incomes are going down, they're not going up. Okay? So I don't get to go to my boss and say, wow, I have a new $200 bill, I need a raise. But you can come to us and ask for that $200.
No, they don't ask, they just don't.
But I'm saying, you're saying that you have programs for certain people. You don't have programs for regular people that their incomes are declining. If you're not at a poverty level, there are no programs for you. So somewhere you've got to find that money. Everybody, it's not a.
We all have to live within our means,
all
Debbie.
If we can survey the township and find that you are below the poverty level, you can get a guaranteed grant. If you cannot prove that this township is below the poverty level, you can still get guaranteed low-interest loans, but you won't get any grants. If you could get a 75% grant, that would help you immensely. I just don't believe Cottrellville Township is below the poverty level.
No.
Well, they're below the income level of all the surrounding areas, absolutely.
Well, we can check with the county and see what they have in the last,
You absolutely are. So what I'm asking you is if you can find another way.
Debbie, can you
to
give
not
me your
make
last
such a
name?
huge increase, Bourgois, to make it not such a one-time large increase. There's other options.
after
That's
the meeting, I
point.
need your telephone number, but I don't want to put it over the, yes, sir.
Another quick comment. I happen to save a newspaper from 2011, Times Herald, which described water rates for a lot of Michigan, the thumb, Cottrellville especially. It was at the top of the list in terms of water expense in 2006, and it was also at the top of the list in 2011 when this article was written. It's huge difference. And actually what I find interesting is that they do mention Tom Raymond in this article, and they do mention discussion of increasing, the rates in order to, to maintain stability and pay for future problems. But back then, in 2011, the rates are the same as what we're paying now. Okay, so nothing has changed since 2011. And so yes, I would agree with the other comments regarding the administration. The folks that we hired to do the job really didn't do a good job as we had hoped they would. Okay?
No.
So now we're trusting you to do a good job for us. And,
Really, what he'd say, and I didn't mean to interrupt you because it pops into my mind, what we're trying to do is have you people save us in the township.
No.
To mix up, take care of their mess and do the wonders and take.
Well, we can't go back, but all we can do is go
Just an
forward.
additional comment, because
Sure.
there is a list of prices here, okay? And we are so far above Marine City in both instances. And I know we do a lot of our business with Marine City as far as sewage, okay? Has anyone tried renegotiating those rates? Because I assume.
In September, we're going to,
Okay, I assume that's part of the issue too, because if you look at sewage rates within the city, yeah, I'm sure they've been going up. And I don't have any current numbers, but how do their sewage rates compare to our sewage rates? And can we renegotiate sewage and even water rates? Because we get everything from all the surrounding folks around here. So it's just an idea.
it's something that we're going to be doing in
And
September.
of course, I would agree that 66% increase in the base rate is
Hey,
going
you
to hit
guys.
people hard. So, okay.
Dominic?
Thank you.
Mr. Barnes?
I'd just like to make a comment. This is a very interesting and informative conversation. But what sort of makes me mad is probably everybody, but maybe two people here don't come to the meetings ever. If they would come to the meetings, they would have known that this problem was taking place, starting to grow, and take action then. But now they came to a head, and you gotta pay for it, you don't want to. If you would have been coming, maybe you would have known ahead of time a little bit, and maybe you could make some suggestions. They are doing everything they can to save money. They've initiated where fire runs, we're not, and if people don't pay for a fire or an emergency, we were eating the cost. Well, now they set up a program. They don't pay after so long, they can go on your tax bills and on their lien for their house. So they're trying to get it. But, everybody's gotta come, if they don't have nothing, like I said, the sewer don't bother me. but to see people participating and asking questions, I learn a lot and I know what's going on. But I'm not gonna wait till some emergency comes up and say, oh, I knew about that a long time ago, now it's costing me. I'd say something ahead of time.
Well, I hate
That's a good point.
to differ with you because I've gone to lots of these township boards. In fact, I've been kicked out of them when Tom Raymond was here because of my,
No way.
because of telling him exactly what you're saying. Say, hey, Tom, you're wrong. We gotta take care of this now. But it went on deaf ears. I'm telling you that the township people that we had representing our township didn't either listen, they didn't care, or they had their own agendas. And like you said, we cannot go back
No,
and
we
scream
can't.
and holler at them people because
They're gone.
they're gone. We have to figure out what we're gonna do from on. And I have to apologize that I have not gone to every meeting for the simple reason is that I've got my butt kicked out of here more than once because of stating things to them. And we had a township hall meeting down at Cherry Beach End where Tom stood up and we almost got into a fight because he was telling me that when we were trying to put the water lines through and, just to give you a small, quick detail, when we started in the township, nobody wanted water. And then he split the damn township in half, and everybody was fighting everybody, and it still didn't go through. Then they split the township again, and then they split it again. And so now, we were never supposed to have dead-end lines. How many dead-end lines we got now? And that was Tom Raymond that was here again, I hate to say that. But when we went through there, and we had, and what I'm trying to bring up here is something that we haven't adjusted. We're talking about sewage, and the lady from St. Clair County, I'm going to say sewers, putting in septic tanks. And she told us that then, everybody that is hooked in to the city water lines, in 5 to 10 years, their septic tanks will not be any good because of the chloride and the chemicals that are put into the city waters that will kill all of your bacteria. Now, she stood up there and told us this. Well, me and Tom got in a big fight because I recorded that. And I brought it with me and I had it to him. So, you can't always say all of us didn't say anything to stand up here. I, for one, tried to do that, and all I got was slapped in the face by the township people that I helped get elected. And again, I have to apologize from now on. I will take more diligent in finding out what's going on in our township. If we don't have people doing what they're gonna do, the only way we have to get them out is to have them removed.
Okay, anybody else got anything else? I think that,
Yes.
oh, I'm sorry, sir, I didn't see you.
Okay, good.
Just a questions for you.
Sure.
You said in 10 years this project's gonna be finished?
No, we have a 10-year plan as part of the asset management plan, but you update that yearly. It's never gonna end.
Okay, but
I'm saying I have 10 years of projects planned out. This isn't finalized. With a month left to go before this board is going to adopt this asset management plan, we are going to sharpen the pencils.
okay,
They may only want to go for $150,000 worth of improvements on their lines for those priority areas that were clearly identified by videotaping your sewer system. You're not going to find everything. Things are still going to continue to break. It's a living system.
right.
By the time
Okay,
you
but
fix 10 years worth of stuff, there'll be a couple more years of work to do.
now with what you're starting with your problem childs right now, and you're gonna be lining them, right? And then we're gonna be saving money as far as our water that's not getting discharged into our sewer, and then we're gonna be saving money from the
Yeah.
city. for
Wouldn't it
not-
be great if you weren't paying 3.4 times the amount that you should be for sanitary sewer?
Right, I mean, we're paying, what, 19,000 water, and we're paying for 60,000 for sewer? So
It's about the
gonna come
size
back
of
down to 19,000 that we're actually using, right?
Million, I think it's million.
Right.
Well, you're talking millions of
The
gallons.
usage, yeah.
You bought 39 million gallons of water,
Right,
and you paid for 58 million gallons to Marine City.
right.
Should have only been 39 million gallons, except for a big chunk of that 39 million gallons never went to a sanitary sewer, because they're not on the sanitary sewer system. So that's why we have to make sure we're talking about 18 million units, or 18 million gallons of sanitary sewer were paid for in the last fiscal year.
Right, so I mean, that's actually.
That's what these
refund.
numbers are being refined. We've got everything ready, fill in the blanks.
I have a question for the sewer system for you, because you're the engineer, right?
Yes, sir?
Yes, sir.
When we apply this slip joint into the mains, what do you do for the ones that are physically have to go in and dig to put the, to tap into the sewer system again?
We haven't identified any pipes that are going to require being dug up. There are possibly some.
You misunderstood what I'm saying.
You talking about a new lead?
He's talking about a whole line being
Yeah,
piped.
from manhole to manhole.
Right, so in between those two manholes, Joe Blow over here, he's got a house, and A and B and C, they got houses that are tapped into that sewer line. How do you keep from plugging those up?
Sealing those off.
Oh, once it's done, they send the camera back up, and when it blows up, it makes a little dimple. Plus, we've already got the locations from the videotaping. The robot's got a little side cutter.
Oh, okay, there you
Then
go.
they put a pressure cuff on there, they inject grout so that it
Seals?
seals it.
Okay,
But the township's not gonna go up every lateral, which are possibly also infiltrating. So we're gonna eliminate what can be eliminated on the trunk. I'm not saying it's all gonna be taken care of,
well, that's
but
good,
now
because
we've
when
got,
you go through and plug the whole lines up, and the people that are illegally tapped in are gonna find out about it soon enough, because it's gonna be backing up into their house.
no, because as I said, every one of those laterals is already on video, we know where they're at.
Yeah.
So if the robot doesn't see it, we just say 321 feet up here, there's supposed to be one. Yep, we found it.
Now, those
And then
liners,
they'll do
those
that.
liners depend on for their structural integrity on the actual surrounding pipe. Is that
Yes.
correct? Yeah, so if the pipe is good, the lateral will remain good.
Now, this is a very short list. Let's say that there's 20 priority pipes. Only 5 or 6 of those have multiple cracks or structural defects that might require actually excavating and replacing pipe,
Okay,
which doesn't happen that often. There are only a couple of pipes that had a change in material where it was obvious at some point in time they were dug up and replaced. But we're certainly not talking about replacing most of your sewer. We're rehabilitating it.
So those existing loose sewer lines, are they iron, cast iron, or what? Are they clay? Pretty much.
The main trunk along the major roads were concrete,
Or concrete?
and most of the side leads into the neighborhoods are all clay.
How does what if the concrete, if the pipe fails, what does that do to the liner? Does it collapse the liner?
Yes. There were no collapses identified.
Okay.
I have one last question.
Okay, go ahead, Deb.
Meetings are the second Wednesday of every month at 7:30?
Yes, ma'am.
So the next meeting would be on the 13th.
Right, unless we have special meetings, which, are you hooked up online to the website? Can you get into the website to see when we have, if we have any special meetings?
I don't regularly, but I could.
No? Well, a lot of people are doing it regularly. There's a sign-in sheet right at the clerk's office. We can add you to the list, and when things, we send things out when we have special meetings or things of, topics of something that would be of interest to you. Okay, are we all,
No, one quick thing.
all right.
All right, you said that we bought 39 million gallons of water, is that what you said?
Yes.
For 461 homes?
No,
We only have 461 homes on the sewer line.
No, we bought 39 million gallons of water for every resident
Yeah.
hooked up to the water system.
Well, but all that does go
716
down- all that does
water
go down the
customers.
sewer anyways.
That's correct.
We only even talking about 461 homes there, because I didn't go close to 850,000 gallons of water. So I don't understand that part.
461 divided by 716, if anyone has a calculator.
It come up to about 800,000 gallons, and I don't go to that much.
Can
You
you,
said we had 39 million, we bought 39 million, and
of
we
what?
have 461 homes on this line.
No.
Can you divide 461 by 716?
That's what, they're doing it here, these two.
I mean, did I make a mistake someplace?
0.645, or
Okay.
644.
So 65% of 39 million.
You
what, 65%, 39 million? Let's snap to it over there.
39 million.
About 28, rough.
Sherry, what's the difference between the 461
Yeah.
customers and the 645 number?
645 is water customers?
645 because the
What is it?
trailer park and other factors, multiple residences, that type of thing? What was the total?
25.
So 25 million.
300.
I could very well, change the figures to 25 million, and, it's just gonna change math. We're still talking about dollars. You have an amount of dollars you need to hit this goal, and you have so many people to pay for it. And that just is math. You have to have an increase, because now you're in a deficit.
I understand.
You can't,
have something to
you can't
say?
pay your yearly fees, let alone repair anything.
I didn't know whether you were gonna move completely on or not, because I can do something else in here, I want to thought.
Okay, what would that be?
The speed limit stuff down here in Roberts Lane,
Yeah,
is this even legal?
is what legal?
Wanting to put up signs to slow people down?
Well, yeah,
It's not the township's job to,
no, it isn't. It isn't, but they came to us and asked for help, and we're just deciding whether we're going
well,
to,
send it to the county, send it to
well,
the state.
I'm working with the county and the state.
Because they have to do an investigation into
Right,
a speed.
Right, that's already been done,
And it has.
yeah.
How come we're not raising it then?
Well-
Because the ferry's not there, it's on the main highway, speed limit down there is 45 miles
Well,
an hour.
we're
all the
probably
time.
gonna have a different kind of a meeting for that, so that you can come and voice your opinion then if you would
Okay,
like.
because I didn't want, not paying money for this is.
It's not gonna cost you a nickel. All I'm gonna ask them to do is put a double yellow line in front of the township or the state park. I'm gonna ask these people, I don't know how many people on this petition, that they want to have fundraisers and pay for those 2 units, put one on the south end and one on the Clay Township end.
I personally don't think that they can enforce that speed limit, but
What?
as long as we don't, for township.
You don't have to pay for it, no, sir.
Have to pay anything,
No,
that's
I
all
told
I'm-
them they would get no money from the township, we will only get our
That's,
cooperation.
That's ridiculous.
But in the meantime, there are signs all along, I went to Algonac one
Yeah,
day,
you made
there
it.
are signs all along the
They don't
road.
mean anything.
Well,
Signs along the road.
I
Just to
didn't
remind people to
slow down
down.
because I wasn't going over, but, I mean, people had to have seen these
Well,
signs.
it makes it a difference if you have a state sign up there versus some guy,
The sign is
or
driveway.
people that put down by the driveway that the sign is,
Yeah.
because, believe me, being a cop for 22 years, people don't pay any attention to that, they don't pay attention to the speed lines.
Well, I went through there at 35 a couple of weeks ago, and there was a gentleman walking down the road, turned around and hollered at me to slow down. And I was doing speed limit.
Yeah,
I felt like getting out of the car, punch you.
no.
That's what's gonna come.
Now, don't do
The
that.
whole situation.
But you don't see that, that's that area right
We shouldn't
there.
get involved with that at
Somebody,
all.
I know. Go ahead, sir, I
Let
don't
the
know what your name is.
residents go to the state, let the residents go to the county.
Well, they come to us to ask
Us
help,
sit
and that's
down.
what we're
You should
doing.
have told them,
You're good.
you're out of it. The township has nothing to do with that.
Okay, well, can I help you, sir?
I was looking at your webpage when I was yesterday or the night before. The residents do realize that the state could actually raise that
Yes,
in that area.
and I warned them
They
of
do
that.
it,
Yep, it
it'd be
very well
more
could be
shape than they are
raised.
now.
Yep, but we're gonna ask them to reduce it to 35 right through the Algonac State Park there, that area, put a double line so that they can't pass when they get to the straightaway, and put, we'll get Mr. Bryson if he'll allow us to put one at his end of the township and one on the other end of the township, and just flash so people realize that they're going, this is how fast they're traveling, and this is what the speed limit is.
Speed limits on county roads are determined
That's a
by
state highway.
population.
Yeah, it's a state highway.
Yeah.
Did you have something to say, sir? No?
Oh, no.
Okay. All right, can we go on now? All right, but where are we? Okay, we're doing unfinished business now. Discussion of several increases for money, raising money in certain categories for maintaining the township as line items on our tax bills. We had a discussion at a workshop. The approval of the higher administration fee seemed to be the consensus that we could raise it to 1% from what it is now, which is 0 .07035 to 1%. I have a resolution, it's in your packet, that is number 2017-12, and it allows for that. Through the discussion when we had the workshop, the consensus was that it appeared that most everybody was on board with that. I don't know, Tom, were you at that meeting? I can't recall.
That might have been the one I missed.
Okay. So if it's something that we want to go with, I would entertain a motion to approve the resolution to impose the property tax administration fee, raising it to 1%. Do I have a motion to that effect?
I'll make a motion for the approval of a higher admin fee millage rate from 07035 to 1%. Resolution R 2017-12.
I have a question.
Do we have a second? You can't ask any more questions right now.
Okay.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the resolution to impose the property tax administration fee of 1%. All in favor? Any further discussion? I'll leave it up to you guys. Do you want to hear what Mr.
I just have a question.
Dominic wants to say?
Whether you know or whether you don't know. What was the reason that we took it out from the county doing that and us doing it?
They didn't do it anymore. They don't want to do it anymore.
And so we just said, okay,
Well, you don't have a choice. We either do it in-house or we send it out to be done. So we do it in-house.
again, this is part of why, I didn't come to the meetings that they.
The state just decided to stop doing it.
'Cause I was,
That's way before these, I don't know if you girls
Yeah, that was-
realize that the county
you know,
used to do our tax bills.
the county, I went out there and asked them about it, and they had no idea of why it was taken away from them for
No,
doing it.
the state said that the county couldn't do it anymore. Everybody's responsible for their own. So it wasn't, it was another state-issued mandate, so. All right, we're in the middle of a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye. By roll call vote, please.
Sue?
Yes, I'll go, yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Mary Agnes?
Yes?
Sherry? Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you. Okay, the next item is our sewer. No, our next item is the millage on fire protection. I did not write a resolution for that yet. We're still in the process of deciding whether that should be put to the vote of the people. We obviously missed the August primary for that, so we couldn't do it at that one. We may be able to get it on the November election if that's what you decide to do, or we can have a special assessment. Okay.
That's why you got thrown out.
We need something like the movies.
I said that's why you got thrown out.
No, I got thrown out because they didn't want to hear what I had to say.
Oh, all right.
And it took
Okay.
2 or 3 of them to do it.
That's okay. All right, here we go. We got some background. I'd like Kathy to do this since she did all the legwork on this one.
I just called MTA. We were trying to find out what the procedure was when we are proposing to initiate a millage rate to cover something, and that's what this is talking about, initiating a millage rate to cover our fire, or pay the cost of our fire protection. In order to do that, we have 2 options. We go to an election where our residents vote on it, or we do a special assessment. If you do the election, we have to have the language approved by the board by August 15th. That's a deadline. I think we have to have it up to the county, everything prepared, done, up to the county clerk's office, and that's in order to put it on the ballot for November. It'll be a yes or no. Do you want to raise to this percentage, or excuse me, this millage rate that we've been talking about for probably the last 4 meetings?
months.
Yeah, 4 months or so. Special assessment's different. Don't know all the ins and outs of a special assessment because we haven't talked about that portion of the millage rate, but you have to go through the procedure of having certain public hearings and other things that are required for posting the information. So we weren't sure whether it was something we could vote on as or we wanted it to be whether we want it to be election by the people or how the residents wanted to do it, but there is a timeline. And if we get it done and we do the election in November, then it would be part of the December? No, it would be part of the other.
Not till June.
Summer taxes.
So we'd have 2 more payments to make
Right.
before that happens. And as I said, our
Yeah.
fund balance is pretty low. So we can do it by special assessment, which is the same way we're doing the resolutions. However, I want to do what you guys want to do. When we had the discussion and we had people here, it was the consensus that most people want to be able to not worry about their, running out of money. If we have a line item on your tax bill that says that you're going to be paying so much money, that's a tax write-off for you as well. It also gives you the opportunity to put that money as a line item only, and the difference that we don't pay goes into a fund that cannot be touched for anything but fire department. Anything that we're doing, we're all of the thought that whatever we do, we've got to lock that in so future boards can't decide to squander our money. And we pretty much have that with enough bird dogs in the audience now that people understand that's how we're trying to do stuff, that if we don't get reelected, at least you know that money's gonna be safe and it's gonna be used for nothing but that. You can't, like Tom says, can't go build a road with it. So, I guess it's up to you guys how you wanna handle this. Do we wanna take it to the vote of the people? We can do that. We can do in a special assessment, we could do it by, by resolution.
I think that people should be able to vote on it, but I think that they really need to be educated on the fact that the township's been paying $100,000 every year for fire protection, and when they signed that contract, they never figured where this money was going to come from. So that's just come out of the general fund every year for how many years? And our money's disappearing. Because when they started that fire authority, and they knew it was going to be $100,000, they never thought about where it was going to come from.
Well, that really wasn't the case. It was supposed to have been 50, wasn't it?
50,000.
Yeah.
Since I was on the board, I asked that question, and I was assured it was going to be 50,000, and the very first payment was 85,000, and then it went to 105,000. So. Explain incorrectly.
But at the same time, somebody should have started a tax then. As soon as that, at the same time.
We didn't have a majority.
Yeah.
The fellas would always vote
one way.
But we've lost hundreds of thousands of dollars
Yes, we
that
have.
didn't come in to pay for it.
That's exactly right.
So our savings is
Gone.
gone.
Have we researched that now?
Research what?
The fire procedures for payment with the negotiation contract.
Well, we're a part of that authority.
That's what I mean, do we?
Yeah, we have a voice in it. Before, we were just sending money to the Marine City Fire Department to protect us.
Yeah,
Whatever they decided
$100,000
was the amount that they would send us, then we'd write a check. And it was around 35, 40,000 all the time. And then when that, when he told us it would be around 50, well, that was okay. And then when the first bill came and it was 85, it was just so shocking, it was just unbelievable. Mr. Barnes?
Yeah, what, we had already agreed, because I'm, I'm big on the fire thing here, that the people that don't pay for their, fire service, or whatever you want to call it, when they have a fire, they give you an excuse, like at the bar, and then a junkyard over there, and then they don't pay. And we put it in there that after so long, if they don't pay it, Marine City, after they bill it and they don't pay it, they were giving them so long, and then it was going to go on their tax bill, and if they don't pay, to be a lien on their property. Well, if we do something like you're talking about now, is that gonna make that part of it null and void? Because we'd be paying to expect the same service from everybody?
Well, when I got on there, I asked if we could withdraw that, we backed out of that AccuMed thing, because that gave them 90 days to collect it. When you want to file a lien, you only got 90 days.
Right.
So we sent them a bill, and then we sent them a reminder, and at that point, we can file a lien. And I can do those myself, so I don't have to have.
But I'm saying, with this new deal, if everybody was assessed so much money on their bill for fire service, like they do in cities, is that gonna make this other saying null and void that any emergency
Oh,
services
no.
that they
That-
get will be
It's-
covered?
It's just for
Those fire-
outsiders.
Those fire runs have nothing to do with the
Right.
$100,000 that we send
Right.
them. That fire runs are over and above. We just
Yeah.
give them $100,000 a year to go along to the fire authority, am I right so far?
Yeah.
And-
Well, they take up, where the extra stuff is when you have a car accident, you have a wash down. Well, if that person doesn't live in the area, why should everyone in Cottrellville pay for him to have the fire truck come out and wash down the gasoline that his car exploded? Okay, so then we get a hold of them, and what we're trying to do is some way with the title of that vehicle, if it's still drivable, if there's something that can be repaired on it, is file something against it, so he can't get tags for his plates until he's paid the lien that's against it. And that's the kind of thing we're trying to initiate.
Right, just want, so that we get reimbursed for our
Yes,
expenses.
all the
We're not
outsiders.
putting a bill for everything.
Yeah.
I think we should have somebody or send somebody where the insurance companies would be advised of something new. This is brand new, where not only one insurance company, but all of them, and be responsible for their people, because when you do your insurance, you get a line item of whatever's charged. And I believe on mine, if there's an injury there, it's $100,000 coverage for them. So if we would maybe find an authority to go and talk with with the insurance associations, or if they have one, whether we could, as a township or a city or anybody, could go and file a claim against the insurance company rather than the person.
Well, that's what happens. We send them directly to if we get a policy name and a policy number, then we can intercede
We all
there.
have to have insurance, so.
Well, a lot of
we-
people don't have insurance, that's the problem. But when we can, we do, we got little detectives in our office. You can't believe how our deputy clerks are. They're just like little ninjas. They can get more money out of
Talking
a,
about
yeah. So,
Okay,
Have a detective
so that's
there.
covered.
okay. So, I guess what I need is what's your brothers? What do you wanna do? Do you wanna go, the vote of the people?
I
Or
think
do you
that would
wanna
be,
go with the special assessment and that route? It's up to you, just give me direction.
I
would
think
say-
a vote of the people. Personally, that's my opinion.
Okay, is that a form of a motion?
Oh, yes.
And we have a second?
Make that
I second it.
motion.
Okay. All in favor? Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye by roll call, please.
Sue?
Aye.
Tom?
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Mary Agnes?
Yes?
Sherry? Yes.
Okay. Very good. Motion carried. All right.
Okay, is there any way we can investigate the fire authority to see why our bills doubled the first year? and the
It's
second
based
year?
on your number of calls, Tom, and it's an average of 3 years. I can give you that.
'Cause I just don't understand why we put out $100,000.
Well, because it's
Yeah, that's a lot of money,
it's a
isn't it?
percentage.
We don't even have our name on one of the trucks.
Well, I thought that we were investing in the fire trucks.
Yeah.
That
that's
was
what
the
it is.
story that they told.
But
Yeah.
Maintenance.
No, we were just gonna buy a truck.
our
I think
township's
the
on
pumper.
the lower tax basis, and we pay the highest amount because of the runs.
Well, we're not the highest, we're number 2. Marine City's more than that. But see, the reason that we don't pay we pay more than, say, China and East China is because they have another fire authority that they belong to up in St. Clair. So they're splitting theirs between 2 authorities, and we're paying for ours. Ours is like 25-28% of the number of calls, and they take the last 3 years' number of calls and add them together and divide them by 3, and that's their average. And that's how much percentage of the costs that they,
Then we got Ira Township, covers the
1 mile of west side of the township.
well, the big one is just the fire authority up there in
Marine
Marine
City.
City.
Yeah.
The other one we give like $4,000 a year to cover that
We're
one
being
chunk.
charged
It doesn't
a lot
make any sense to me.
because calls are coming from the trailer park. Marine City Fire Department said that their calls are overwhelming for any place, in any township, coming right out of the trailer park.
I know.
Can't we get Marine City to annex the trailer park?
Have them secede from the union? Yeah, we could do that.
Give it to them.
All right.
Pay them to take it.
All
amount of
right,
money. just
see
to
me
save
after the
base.
meeting and I'll get you a copy of the plan. It was laying out there for like 6 months,
Save the base.
but you can see the average,
Did they ever
so,
save the house?
No.
No, by the time they get here, it's all they're saving is the basement anyway.
okay. As far as, we were discussing, hey, you guys, can we have a meeting, please? Okay. We are initiating a separate millage for ditching and roads to match for the county. That was voted against when we had our discussion. The majority of the people that attended and the board agreed that we would drop that. However, I added something back in at the end of the meeting where we're talking about, I might as well take care of that right now, I guess. Yesterday, we had, on another thought, the road commission was out here, Kurt Weston and Bill Hazelton, and he's the engineer for the county. And I had told them that we were not going to participate in the local roads funding assistance program. And they think that it's not a good idea to not at least put in 10,000, request for 10,000 for just ditching. He says that sometimes you can back out of it if you need to, but they want to allot it for you in case you need it in the case of something that goes wrong. So I did prepare a document, a resolution to that effect, but we can, when we get to that, that's the discussion on that one. When we go back to Cottrellville Township's Part 86 of the ordinance number 25, sewer use and rates, that's a 40-page document that was prepared by Huron Consultants, and I think we've had it now we've had it one public hearing with it, we've had it at 2 other meetings. Is there anybody got any questions or anything on this, so we know what, that you're concerned about? Is there anything there that you have questions about?
No.
Tom, you got anything? Did you get a chance to go through it?
No idea.
Well, the changes are the yellow highlights, I assume.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Those are the things that he thought
Yeah.
that should be changed.
Yeah, so, yeah,
I would also spell check it.
Okay.
uh-oh. Did you see something?
No, I didn't see it.
Did you see something, Ron?
Well, nothing was
Oh,
wrong. We
okay.
added
Just
the,
added some things.
Yeah.
additional language for
Right.
penalty.
Yeah. I assume that's what the yellow highlight was, and the rest of it was already there, so, yeah. So there wasn't really that many changes.
Not to compare to the number of pages it is, no.
I know.
But he
Yeah.
went through it real good, so, and then I went through it thoroughly twice, so I'm thinking,
Is there a stipulation in there that if you find somebody that's in violation, that you give them a certain time limit to fix that problem, rather than just
the
give them
ordinance.
a fine?
I think we presented that ordinance.
Because they,
Yeah,
for some reason, maybe they didn't know it, or they bought the house and it never came up to
The
that.
standard language is prosecute to the full extent of the law.
yes, yeah.
Okay, so even if they don't know it, well, they would throw it out of court. You wouldn't have a leg to stand on. If they bought the house in 2002 and you gave them a ticket in 2003, as you were moving along and found that you have a violation, they had no idea that it's in there. There's no verbiage in a contract when buying a house that says, oh, you gotta check your sewer hookup to see if it matches Marine City or Cottrellville Township's status. I mean, I'm just saying, an average person, if you give him, if he doesn't know, and you send him a letter and say, hey, we found that you have a problem with your sewer hookup, and we're giving you 60 days to fix it, otherwise, here's a $300, $400 fine, or what, that gives them a chance to do something, and you're saying, no, we just flatly give them a thing, I would tell you to go to hell.
I'm not saying that, sir. I just put the language in there to give it teeth.
Well,
I'm
that's
sure
a
that
lot
they
of
would not
teeth.
prosecute somebody who bought a house and then found out.
Well, say like me, I've lived in my house for 37 years,
Would you like a copy, sir? I would suggest getting it from the township.
Well, I just don't like the way you write it.
You didn't even read it yet. How do you know
He
you
just
don't like
told me
it?
that he will be prosecuted
To the full extent of the
full
law.
extent of the
Yeah,
law.
every
Well, he
ordinance
wrote-
we have is like that.
He wrote it in there stating that they will be fined to the full extent of the law. So
Yeah.
what more clear can that be?
Well, if somebody short comes or knows of the law, they're gonna be prosecuted.
Yeah.
If somebody's a victim of circumstance, I'm sure the township is not gonna prosecute.
Yeah, we always give time to take care of it. If they can't take care of it, we, you know, if they refuse to take care of it,
And I used to believe that stuff a long time ago, but now if it ain't written down in stone,
okay, well,
it ain't worth it.
I just have a hard
They're
time
the
with
standard
these
operating
figures though.
yeah.
You know, you're saying that we're paying 58 million gallons of water, and we only have 461 people on these lines. And you're saying that, I mean,
Yeah,
you
but
have a floodgate open because you're telling me I went to 125,813 gallons.
no,
of water.
you're wrong. The 761 customers are every person in the, every water customer, including the back rural country that has water but no sewer.
Yeah, but you're saying that Marine City has cleaned 58 million gallons of water from us last year. That's a fact, right? And we only got 461 people on the sewage line. That comes out to 125,000 gallons, you're telling me, that I poured down the sewer. We got more than, we must have a massive leak. It's Niagara Falls going on.
Okay, well, like I
Right.
say, we've already had this discussion,
I
so
understand, but
we
I
gotta
think
stay on target here, you guys.
the figures don't add up.
But we're gonna be here all night.
If one person uses 100 gallons per day, that's 36,500 gallons per year for one person. Of a
Okay.
four-person household would be 125,000 gallons. But you're not using that water, sir. That's infiltrated through
Cracks.
41-year-old clay tile. So, you know, I know that everybody's emotionally charged on this, but this board, I commend them. They are taking the action the previous boards did not.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be under fire for this.
They're doing a good job.
We can't fix
He's
what's
just trying
been
to understand
been
what
going
the-
wrong for all these
what the
years in
usage of the water
10
is,
minutes.
That's all.
Yes, you
And
have a big problem.
Glenn here, the problem is that I think he missed, that it isn't the amount of water that we used, okay? That's where I think he's not remembering.
Comprehending.
It's the amount of water that enters the sewage line and that Marine City cleans.
Right,
And that's where the problem comes. is
Right.
We don't know out there someplace, you know, there's a 25-inch pipe that's putting thousands of gallons of water in there every minute or every day. That's what I don't think
There
he,
could be somebody with a drainage problem who's illicitly connected. If a resident knows of this,
Yeah, well,
they
then
should
he's in trouble.
anonymously report that.
Right.
It's your duty as a citizen, as
absolutely,
part of this township. Nobody wants to be the bad neighbor.
I do.
These people are the ones who police it. Please, we need your help.
I'm
We
with
got
you.
a high water table out here too, very high.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, you know, I told him that, you know, he gave a very good, what's the lack of a word? Presentation of what the water is, and you're right. Now, I don't have either one, so what I do is I'm trying to protect the people that, I have a rental business, and I'm trying to protect 10 homes that are using the city water and the sewers, so.
okay, well, we've gotta move on here because, we've gotta get out of here. I usually stop these meetings by 9 o'clock, but we're not even done with the first page on the agenda, so we're gonna go a little quicker. All right, we have this motion, or we have this, sewer ordinance, part 86 of ordinance number 25, sewer use and rates is amended. I need a motion to approve, and then I need a second.
I'll make a motion to approve the Part 86 of ordinance number 25, sewer use and rates amended August 9th, 2017.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion by Kathy and a second by Susie to approve the motion. Any further discussion? All in favor by signifying aye by roll call vote, please.
Kathy,
Yes.
Tom,
No, just for some reason I didn't review it, so.
I'm sorry?
I just don't want to vote on something I'm not familiar with.
Okay,
Totally fine.
Mary Agnes,
yes.
Sue,
Yes.
Sherry, yes.
Okay, motion carried. All right, now we have a resolution for sewer rates and connections. This is where the rate goes up. For all water used, a charge of $6.25 per 1,000 gallons used effective July 2017. 7.25 effective July 2018, and $7.40 per thousand, which would be a 2% increase by July of 2019. Is there any questions on what we wrote there? The quarterly service fee is $50, so it is going up $20.
Is there any way that we could hold off on raising the water rates and leave them at $6.25 per 1,000 gallons before we go ahead and raise it another $1.25? And then you're doing it
I don't
12
think,
months, you're going back to $2.70. You're raising the rates within a year, $2.75
I know
per
that.
1,000 gallons.
I know, but you've been on a holiday for almost 10 years, so that's what our problem is. We have got to hold this, our feet to the fire here, or we're not gonna be able, we'll have to pay back some of this money if we don't do exactly what the SAW grant tells us to do. We're not, you know, we're getting free money to do this work. I mean, it saved us over $300,000. Not having to do all this research, it's all being paid by the state.
Right, I understand, but we're just paying back $30,000, right?
No,
We
you're
paid
missing.
$240,000
No.
for the years.
No, we're trying to build our, we had to have a plan that we're sending into the state for them to approve. They're not gonna approve if we don't give them at least 3 years. They want 3 years of plan.
We've gotta get a sewer fund that's gonna pay for itself. So we're not taking money out of the general fund. And the state's demanding that, otherwise we're not holding up our end of the contract that they give us the money for. They
Dominic,
want their money back.
another thing on page 9 of this resolution, there's a sum of $7,500 per year that has to be funded into a $50,000 accumulation fund, the one that Eric was telling you about. When we get to that point, and we're more solvent, closer to our thing, then we can reduce it down.
Okay.
But there's a, I mean,
there's a
you
plan.
remember that in your mind, $50,000, when we get to that point, come and see us again, and if we can do any adjustments, we
I'll be
will,
here
but we
before
gotta
that.
try and play ball with the big boys, or we're not gonna be able to keep this going. All right, is there anybody else have any other discussion? Can we entertain a motion to approve the resolution number 2017-09 for sewer rates and connection right charges, debt service charges, penalty connection right charges, and use factors?
I'll make the motion to approve Resolution R 2017-09, sewer rates and connection rate.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion to approve and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye. By roll call vote, please. Sherry?
Tom?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Mary Agnes?
Yes.
Sherry? Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you. All right, now we got new business. We got approval for sending 3 planning commission members to Frankenmuth for a class for medical marijuana facilities. We're getting calls from people that want to purchase land in Cottrellville and set up a facilities. They're looking for properties, I guess, where they can grow their own marijuana. That's before the planning commission right now. Some of these things are coming up, and we've got 3 members that are going to attend. It's $89 per person. I'd like to see that they're funded for that. They have money in their budget for that, so, right, Kath?
Yeah,
She's
I
checking
did
right
check
now.
it. I did check it earlier.
Oh, so they have the money.
They have the
Yeah,
money
we
for
just-
training.
So could we entertain a motion to approve sending those 3 members, Ellen Jones, Pat Runyon, Joe Treadway, at $89 per person to the planning commission class for medical marijuana facilities? Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion
Okay.
for a request to approve, send 3 members, planning commission, to Frankenmuth for a class on medical marijuana facilities.
Do we have a second?
I'll
second her.
Yes, Tommy, second?
Yeah,
Okay.
Tom.
All in favor, signify by saying aye. It's spending money, so please roll call again.
Tom?
Yes.
Mary Agnes?
Yes,
Sue?
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Sherry? Yes.
motion carried. Thank you very much. All right, the next item is engineering services invoices that came in, $9,493. There's 4 of them there. I gave you copies in your packet. I did send them off to Chris Hiltonman, who is our DPW superintendent. He did approve them all. And so we brought them before the, are those included in the
Yes.
payment? Okay, they are
Yes, they
included
are.
in the, so they're already
In the
been approved
opens.
in the opens to be paid. So if you want to vote on it again, that's fine, but they are already included. But I know Tom likes to see the descriptions, so. If, do you want to vote on it again or continue?
Continue.
Okay, let's keep going here.
If that's okay with everybody else, I'm just throwing it out there.
Okay. Is that all right with everybody else? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, the next one was the residents of Roberts Landing are requesting to help slow down the vehicles going through their area. They have a petition with many signatures that they're asking for help to get electric sign that flashes how fast you're traveling, requesting a double yellow line so that they can pass from the northern limits of Clay Township to the south end of, at the south end of the Algonac State Park, and also a sign lowering the speed limit from the same area from 45 to 35, and place another electric sign that flashes. The 2 signs would cost about $4,000. They are willing to have fundraisers to make the money pay for it, but the township need not support, but they need the township support with the MDOT, and the county is okay already with it, and they just need help with the logistics of it. They have furnished us with the paperwork on it, and if you want me to continue helping them get what they want, I will. If you don't want to get involved, like, if that's your thought.
What are you doing? Are you doing paperwork for them, or are you doing?
No, I found those signs,
Okay.
and then I talked to the county, and the county said, yeah, that they had taken down some of the signs that were there, that was 35, or 30 mile an hour, I guess. They made them take those signs down because it isn't 30 mile an hour, it's 35. So the county took, the MDOT told the county to take those down, so then now they put up new ones again, but they're,
Who is going to maintain the electrical sign?
I don't know if it's battery or what it is yet. I haven't seen it,
It's electrical hooked up,
so.
just as long as we don't get stuck with it.
Just let the county do it, please.
You know, as the township having to pay maintenance because that's gonna be right on that curve, and the possibility of somebody running in and doing it is really good. So we don't get charged with having to repair it and fix it.
Well, it's
Because we're
it's
trying
their
to-
project. All they're asking is for permission. They probably want a letter that says that we're in support of this. If you don't want the letter written, or if you just want me to ignore them altogether,
It's just gonna be financial problems for them.
Well, we don't wanna put any more burden on you to come in and say, hey, you know, she's not doing this, and
The minute.
I think whatever you think is fair for you, because you're the one that's gonna have to take care of this. I'm just asking you, if they come up and they say, well, we're gonna put it in there, this is something, is the county gonna maintain that thing? Because you're talking probably $2,000, $3,000 just to install it, not
Well-
only buying it.
I don't know if they've gotten that far yet. Like I say, they just want to know if we want to support it. If you don't, if you would rather I not
The minute
support, we
something
won't.
The minute something happens on that turn, or those turns out there, and you agree with the people that live there, all of a sudden, the township's gonna be responsible, the township's gonna get sued.
No.
Oh,
No.
don't say no, it's gonna
Well,
happen.
they're gonna go after the ones with the deep pockets, and I just told you what our fund balance is. That's not gonna be a problem.
Stay away from it.
I would think it's a state road, so
Yeah.
I don't think whatever anybody in this room says
That's
has any
exactly-
bearing on the situation. It's a state road. They have jurisdiction.
That's exactly
End of
right.
story.
Yeah, well, they're working with the
We can
guys,
give
so.
them a pat on the back and say, go for it.
Yeah,
If
Good
you
luck
agree.
with that.
I agree.
Yeah,
right,
just tell them good luck.
You know, if that's what you wanna do, send them a.
If you want me to write, just tell me what you want. Do you want me to write a letter and give them of support, or do you want me to let them do their own thing?
Let them do their, I say, my opinion is let them do their own thing.
And tell them good luck.
But it's a state jurisdiction thing and.
Okay, would you give me that in the form of a,
I'd like to make a motion that we do not give our support as a township to these signs, however you want me to word it. No involvement in that.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion that we do not send a letter of support to the state or the county for the signs. And we have a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. I say no. Motion carried. Tom, did you vote? I didn't hear you.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Motion carried. All right, we'll go on to the next item. We have a authorization resolution that that we have to participate with St. Clair County. It's paid through a grant. It's for arrangements for a voting machine. And they have sent us all the paperwork on it. I think I explained it to you in the memo. Did everybody get a chance to read that?
I didn't understand what it was for.
What about the machine we have now?
It's gonna be picked up. The county has applied for $500,000 worth of machines. They're replacing like 70 of them, I think.
Okay, so, yeah, the state is reimbursing us for the machine, right?
Well, they're gonna pay for it for the first 5 years, and the second 5 years, they said, we're responsible for it. So when
Okay.
I called them to ask them that question, what are we responsible for? It should be paid for by 5 years. And they said, yes, it would be paid for, but there's a maintenance fee of $375 for the ballot box and $240, so it's a total of $615 that we would have to pay annually for the next 5 years. Then I don't know what happens. I guess they go shopping for more equipment. So
Next 5 years ago,
Are you stuck with them?
second 5 years.
we're stuck with them for 10 years.
10.
Well, these are probably older than that. Anybody, you've been on
I would
the,
expect that the voting equipment is gonna be outdated in less than 5 years.
well, this is supposed to be all electronic, so,
Yeah, this is a nice voting machine that we have.
Right.
well, I don't
mean,
know.
They've got a lot, there's quite a bit of talk going on about elections in the news these days.
Yes.
So my expectation would be that within 5 years, there's gonna be major changes, so do you want to be on the hook for that?
Well, you don't have a choice. That's what the county's chosen,
So how come they're coming and taking our machine?
because they were giving us a new one.
Kind of-
Well, what were we paying on this one?
You're not allowed to use this one anymore?
No,
We
that's
aren't allowed?
already gone. I mean, it's going.
It works so well most of the time.
Well, I think this one, I'm not sure. I didn't go to the meeting with the
Takes it in and
clerks
counts.
when they were discussing it, but I have a feeling that
Yeah.
these new machines are hooked up to either the county or Lansing. So when we vote, there's none of this stuff where you have to, fill out paperwork and stuff. It's all gonna be electronic, it's all gonna go in, and they're gonna know how many people are voting instantly.
We won't physically be counting here. It'll be all
No,
done.
it'll all be done,
And then we can
when
get
it's fed into
hacked.
the machine, it's gonna go where it's gotta go.
And then we can get hacked.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Who's that?
Because that, as it is, the machine
Getting slapped.
keeps count and we do it and we know what it is. Once it goes through the lines, we don't really know.
No,
And somebody else, yeah. And that's
sir.
what they're talking about.
Does the new machine still have paper ballots that you can always go back to confirm the vote?
I don't know. Does it? Does it?
It does.
Yes.
It's supposed to,
If there's
Yeah.
any question, you can always refer back and manual count the paper ballots.
Right. You'd have to.
So just FYI, within the last month, they took several voting machines that were readily available for purchase and gave them to a group of hackers, and they hacked them all within minutes. So that's why I'm saying this, whatever you're purchasing from whoever, however, it's going to be obsolete quickly.
okay, well, I can't control the county. They applied for a grant, they received it, it's $500,000. They are taking everyone in the county's machines away from them. They're bringing them all the same kind in now. And there's not gonna be any cost to the township for the first 5 years. If they continue to use this machine in the next 5 years, then there is a $615 annual fee to maintain it. So if they decide to switch them again, I guess there won't be a fee, but you don't know what you're gonna get next either, so.
But, so we don't actually have a choice.
No, we
there's
don't have a
no-
choice.
There's no choice to this vote. We
No.
just need to-
No, but when
Just for your information only.
Yeah, we go
But in
along.
order for the,
You say no, we're gonna have to go along
Is
with
there a
it.
maintenance fee
yeah,
on this
everyone,
one right now?
I'm sorry?
Is there a maintenance fee on this one right now?
No. Well, we pay to have someone come in and calibrate every election. Within 2 weeks of the election, we have a gentleman comes in and he spends the whole day and he puts everything you can think of as what can happen to the machine, and then he certifies it that it's good, so. So, anyhow, I'm sorry?
What do you have to vote on then?
We have to have a resolution that accompanies the application for the grant to get the county to get their machine so they can send it to me.
It's government.
And if it goes
Okay,
down,
I think
Yeah.
So, what do you,
the thing, telling, you ask them if you can want it or not, but they're behind your back saying, oh, you gotta take it.
well, you don't have a choice, and they have to get them all from the same place, and this outfit's in Toronto, Canada, so. But at least I guess it's not made in Russia, so we don't have to worry about that. Yeah, I thought that was kind of strange too, but there's an application form to fill out, and that, it has to be accompanied with the resolution that I've asked you to approve. So if you will approve, I'm gonna find it here, resolution number 2017-13, resolution to approve Cottrellville Township's grant by St. Clair County to purchase voting equipment from Dominion Voting Systems Incorporated, fully funded by the state of Michigan, which will include a combination of federal Help America Vote Act, that's called HAVA, and state appropriation funds. Do I have a motion to that effect?
I'll make the motion to approve resolution, is it R 2017-13?
Yes.
Request to approve Cottrellville Township grant to purchase voting system from Dominion Voting Systems, Inc.
Do I have a second to that motion?
As long as it's not made in Russia, I second that.
Okay.
Second
All
that
right.
motion.
Do we have any further discussion?
Yeah, can we send them a letter to try and buy them in the United States next time?
All in favor signify by saying aye. By roll call, please. I'm sorry, my brain's getting tired.
Tom?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Mary Agnes?
Yes,
Sherry? Yes.
motion carried. Thank you. All right, we have some letters in your packet of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 attorneys that have applied for this job as township attorney. At this late hour, I'm going to ask you to go through those. We'll set up another meeting, perhaps just for that item, and we'll settle it then. A motion to that effect, please.
I'll make a motion to postpone any decision on these applications or these resumes until a different date. Give us time to take a look at them.
All right, do you want to look at it in a week? Do you want to go, we're going to set up that meeting this evening for next Wednesday?
I'm trying to think of my schedule.
But
yes,
if
we
you
can
want,
do that, I
let
guess.
me do it this way. Why don't we see if we can get these people, if you go home and study them, give me your recommendation of what 2 people you want to interview, and I'll set them up an appointment, have them come in that day, and you can fire your questions at them.
Okay, I thought you said 6.
There's 5, I think, here.
I thought there's,
Well, there's
4.
a couple attorneys that are,
Oh, so just the headings we're
yeah.
talking about, okay,
yeah,
yeah, and
James
and Tammy
Downey and
McGuire.
George Yakima in one
Yeah.
office, and then Michael Murray
Okay,
is at
that
Kramer,
way, yeah.
and James DeVoras and
Okay,
Vergeros.
I get you,
Okay?
yeah. And Tammy's not even,
Yeah, she did turn it down, or?
Yeah, she
Yeah.
asked that,
Gratefully
yep.
said that she,
she's got no experience.
gracefully
Yeah,
said.
she said she's a family law practice, and she's not doing government yet, so she would prefer to be, but she was
Okay.
glad that we
Right.
contacted her, so, okay? But I wanted to make sure I had a rounded around bunch of people that are, some are from Mount Clemens, some are from Port Huron, some are from Marine City, and some are from Algonac. Okay? All right, we have that motion on the floor. Did we have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. We have a motion on the floor to set this meeting up, that you're going to report to me what 2 people you're interested in having a physical interview with. We'll invite them next Wednesday if we can. Another 6 o'clock meeting or 7 o'clock meeting? What do you think?
I'd like 7, but I'll work in 6 if need to.
Okay, 6 o'clock.
Okay.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion carried. Thank you. All right, now, like I said on that one item with the road, the funding assistant program does not tie us into that, but it does get our foot in the door for a $10,000 grant if we need it. It was their recommendation that I do that. We don't have to exercise it if we don't want to, but that was their recommendation that it be on the, because this is gonna be a whole year from now. So if something were to happen and we need to do that, we'd have $10,000 that we could, that they would match. So we'd get $20,000 worth of work. There's a, in your stuff that I handed out, there is a resolution number 2017-14 for the local road funding assistant program. And if you didn't get a chance to read it, it just says that St. Clair County has established the local road system program through policy number 75 revised October 6, 2009, whereas the local road commission system funding assistance program provides matching funds from the township for improvements of local roads in St. Clair County. And whereas said matching funds are available to the townships on an annual basis of up to $100,000 per project. Whereas Cottrellville has identified a need to improve various road ditches in our township using the local road system funding program. Now therefore be it resolved that Cottrellville Township make this application to the St. Clair County Road Commission for funding under the local road system funding assistance program for the year 2018 for the above various road ditching not to exceed matching of $10,000, and that you're giving me authorization to sign on behalf of the township. Everybody understand that?
So this will be used for next fiscal year?
2018, the summer of 2018.
So we would have enough time to
We're gonna put this in
Budget.
next year's budget.
Next year's budget.
budget. Okay.
All right.
Anybody else have a question?
I need a motion to approve the resolution 2017-14 for local road funding in the amount of $10,000 match.
I'll make the motion
Okay, do we have,
to approve the resolution.
okay, do we have a second to that?
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a second by Tom. All in favor signify by saying aye. By roll call vote, please.
Mary Agnes?
Yes.
Sue?
No.
Kathy?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Sherry? Yes.
Motion carried. Say, I'm gonna shut you off. All right, let's see, we got anything else? I would like permission to have the planning commission begin working on a new ordinance for rental housing inspections. We seem to have a little problem down on Martindale Court. A lot of our residents have been in there complaining. They're renting those houses out with, some without bathrooms, some without water, some without sewage, and they're bringing in junk. And what we're gonna have to do is set something up so we can at least work on looking at some of those places before they rent them. And we'll have to set up fees to inspect them when they're gonna rent from one person to another. And make sure that we don't have any slum landlords, because it's getting pretty tough down there. And I've been researching it with other cities and townships, and that was what their thought was, to try and eliminate some of that junk on
Talk to
that.
police, something like that, though, and it's usually gonna be a cash exchange of too, so how would you know who's renting? Somebody's gonna have to say that there's somebody living there, I guess, and they have to investigate.
Well, we're getting enough problems. I mean, anybody that rents from now on, it would be a new law. So if they, and it seems like it's a revolving door on a couple of them houses down there, because they just, you know, one guy goes to Florida and leaves anybody that wants to rent from him while he's gone, and then all the neighbors are affected. It's a bad situation down there. This is one way to attack it. We'll see if we can get some assistance on that and eliminate some of those people that just rent to anybody just for dope parties. And you know, it's rough on the neighborhood. People down there have little kids, and it's a rough way to go.
Do we have anything in place outside the township that regulates their
Rentals?
rentals?
No.
No? That's up
No,
to,
this would be a new ordinance.
up to the township to do that?
Well,
recommend checking with MTA.
That'd be a good idea.
so we'll see what we can,
Can we research it a little bit?
well, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna give it to the planning commission. That's your board that
Okay.
does all the work on it. So I just want your permission to give it to the planning commission to begin research. Do I have a motion to that effect?
I'll make the motion to give it to the planning commission to start researching.
Okay. Do I have a second to that motion?
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Kathy, second by Susie, to approve requesting a new ordinance for rentals being worked on by the planning commission and report back to us. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Hearing none, motion carried. All right, do we have any other public comments?
I do recommend you hold them to 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And one time.
And only during the open discussion.
Yeah.
Oh, Eric does, Eric wants to.
Oh, go ahead.
Are you a resident?
I think so, he lives down here all the time.
He's here all the time.
Yeah.
I do have one question on this rental, you guys are gonna look at it before someone rents that, who pays for that?
It's gonna have to be the landlord.
So not only do they pay twice the amount of taxes for their property, they also have to pay you guys to come in here and say that the property's well enough for someone to occupy?
Well, the problem is that a lot of these places aren't in very good shape. And it's causing the whole neighborhood a rough time. I know nothing like that would be in Dominic's realm because he's got 10 houses that have been, giving him good return on his money. So I know he's, he must be making money at it. So, but there are less scrupulous landlords that aren't being.
Well, I make good money on mine too, but I still don't wanna give somebody else money to do something I already know that's fine.
I think it's a good,
He's talking right now, Dominic. Just
Was he?
let him finish, okay?
But that, I mean, it's another reason that I was here tonight is because the additional cost for someone to come and look at my rental unit, so I can say someone, it's all right for you guys to occupy it. I mean, I just don't think it's right. I mean, isn't the state supposed to be taking care of this?
I have no idea.
well, there are no state laws.
I don't think there's anything as far as at least when I was renting stuff, I didn't have any
All right,
state requirements. Go ahead, Dominic, you want to go up there and speak?
Yeah. Reference rental homes and properties. I have a number of rental homes and properties, and I think it's really a good idea to have a building inspector to come in and inspect your property prior to having somebody in the house, so that if there is a problem, I'm not advocating that the building inspector come in and say, hey, you gotta put a new roof on, you gotta tear all these windows out, you gotta do that. But I'm talking a lot of houses, just general maintenance that they do not maintain, broken windows. Again, this is
Extension
not
cords.
normally the landlord's problem, but you can make him aware of that because the people living in them, if they don't take care of the property, the landlord, he's got no alternative to step up to the plate and take care of these houses because they will deteriorate in a blink of an eye if you don't have able to have somebody come in and say, hey, I'm not believing that the planning commission come in there or anybody come from China or from Cottrellville Township come in here and say, here, I'm gonna charge you $50 if you don't change the window or court or whatever. You gotta use common sense. And if we take with common sense attitude towards that, I'm sure they clean them up in no time at all. That's all I gotta say.
Thank you. Anybody else? Eric?
Thank you again, Eric Osling, Huron Consultants. Mary Agnes, if we can set a meeting for a committee to discuss the asset management plan as it exists, some of the ideas that we have moving forward, I would invite everybody, and please invite your friends and neighbors, to go on the website and watch the past meetings, recordings, I would say that I've always been told I have the perfect face for radio. But it would be very informative. We talked about level of service. The level of service that this township has not provided the customers, which this board is putting in place to provide a level of service to these residents and customers. Update on the meters. We have a new meter card for Pump Station 5. I'll be installing that tomorrow or Friday. I also have a supposed fix for the meter at Pump Station 2. For Pump Stations 3 and 4, after the, sorry, Tom.
I'm sorry.
After the DPS lowered the floats, we no longer have a surcharge conditions in the pipes, and I'm getting great data. So things are working, and we are, working towards that 11th hour. Look forward to meeting with you, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, to go over these issues. In the meantime, we'll be corresponding on a daily basis as usual.
Do we want to do this like on Tuesday night? Or do you have to work on Wednesday?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
No.
No? Would Tuesday night be all right?
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Tom? Could we get you in here around 6 o'clock again on Tuesday night?
Might be a truck out here running, but that's fine.
Well, that's all right. I've heard them run before.
So we're doing Tuesday, 6 o'clock, and Wednesday, 6 o'clock.
Yep. If that's okay with everybody.
I'm good.
Can you work that into your schedule? We'll give you that whole,
Absolutely.
all right, let's do it.
Yeah, make sure it's okay with you.
Sorry?
Be there.
We should make sure it's okay with you first.
I think he's got a,
I'm
A
all
month
for it.
somewhere
I'm the
on
one
here.
who's suggesting it, so.
okay.
That was it.
Anybody else?
6.
Are we all
Both at
set then?
6.
I believe so.
Yep.
Just be here at 6 on each day, we'll figure,
Yeah.
I'm just joking.
All right.
Well, anyway.
If there is any more announcements, I don't think so. Oh, I did want to mention, we did get, when the road commission was here yesterday, they met with a company that came the week before, and I gave them the road commission's number. They had received a petition with 250 signatures regarding broadband in our township. They have chosen us out of all of St. Clair County to prepare a feasibility plan to see what it would cost to put something together for us. It's a private company. They're gonna, put everything together in dollars and cents. They wanted permission to, what they were here for was discussing where they were gonna plow the lines to put the line in. And then we'll have some kind of an answer on that, so that'll be, they figured they'd have something where they might be able to break ground by a year from now. So hopefully we'll see what kind of numbers they come up with, and whatever they come, that, would be approved through the county road to work in there right away. So that's kind of exciting. I think that's about it. Any board member comments? None? No. All right, then we need to entertain a motion for adjournment.
I'll make the motion to adjourn the meeting.
9:33 PM. I'll support that. Motion carried. We're gone. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.